Totalenergies presents the African Football Fans Jersey. Visit our service stations or our social networks to find out more.
So 2 games, 0 points for the Warriors of Zimbabwe at the Totalenergies Africa Cup of Nations 2021 edition. Of course, it has to be rescheduled because of the coronavirus pandemic. And we're back to the same old story for Zimbabwe. This is the 5th time that we are at the Afcon finals. 2004, Steve, we got 3 points. Last game against Algeria, we won by 2-1. 2006, we also got 3 points. We won against Ghana. And 2017, we got a point, a draw against Algeria. 2019, we got a point, a draw against Uganda. And now, 2 games, no points.
Wow. Yep, this fan zone brought to you by Totalenergies. This is where you can vent your frustration, your disappointment. You can ask your questions. Tell us what you think as we look at the Warriors situation. We are the first team to be eliminated from the Totalenergies Africa Cup of Nations 2021 after losing by 2-1 to Malawi. Now, because head-to-head is used ahead of goal difference, even if we happen to beat Guinea in our final game, we cannot go above Malawi, so we are guaranteed to finish bottom of the table. We cannot take one of the best runners-up spots. Story of the game, Ishmael Wadi with a wonderful header from 12 yards out to put the Warriors ahead on 39 minutes, but Malawi struck back straight away. A good move finished off by Gabadinho Mango, their danger man who plays for Orlando Pirates. So that was on 43 minutes, and just before the hour mark on 58 minutes, Mango got his second. That I think we will probably conclude was an error by a teenage Hadebe who hesitated inside the box. Mango pounced and he put it away. After that, 1 or 2 chances for us. Knowledge Musona, the captain, was substituted. Tell us what you think here. Post your comments, ask your questions, because we are with the 2 veterans of the Warriors at the Africa Cup of Nations, Joel Lupatla and Dixon Choto, who were both there in 2004 when we were in probably our toughest group ever with Cameroon, with Algeria there and Egypt, and we managed to get 3 points, as Howard says there. So tell us what you think went wrong. Ask us your questions. We'll do our best to answer. But this one hurts, Joel, because we thought that this was the game that we were going to win. And we saw Malawi coming from behind for victory.
Yeah, it is, Steve. It's very, very disappointing looking at how we played versus Senegal. The nation's hopes were raised. You know, everybody was talking about how Zim played, about how the big players like Mane were, you know, subdued. But we said it here that we have to raise the bar. If we come into this match thinking that the way we played versus Senegal is going to take us through, then this is what we get. We had to play 3 times better than how we played. But I believe that the first half was not so bad. We had so many chances that we could have buried this game. And this is what happens in football. If you don't take your chances, the other team, they'll punish you. And for us to be punished by Malawi at this stage, it hurts the most. This was a derby. We were supposed to do better. This was a derby where we expected to, you know, to continue our dominance over Malawi, but it was never to be. And it's sad that we are out after having, you know, the country tried everything. There were smooth preparations and everything. Because 2004, when we got 3 points, the draw was very difficult. There were better players that we played against, but we tried our best. 2006, the same. The draw was not favoring us. And I think the players that were there, they tried their best, even though we didn't achieve anything. But I would love to believe that people, they put a lot of effort. But for now, it's disappointing because we had, of course, we didn't have maybe the Nakambas of this world, and also Munetsi was not there. You know, they influenced the team, but we had almost all these players that have been that are playing in Europe, that are playing in better leagues, and for this team to go out, you know, with just 2 games is disappointing.
Yeah, this Fan Zone is brought to you by Totalenergies. Give us your thoughts, ask us your questions. Don Peter Chingono says Teenage Hadebe switched off, especially in the second half. And also we're getting comments there saying that Hadebe was at fault. Speaking as a defender, Dixon Choto with us, who played at the Afcon for the Warriors. Can we blame Teenage Hadebe? We did see him hesitate, and then Mango seemed to take advantage and finished off for that second goal. Even the first, Hadebe rose high, but the ball was just too high for him. I don't know if we can blame him for that first goal.
Yeah, Steve, I think on the first goal, I think Teenage, he misjudged the cross, because he was supposed to judge that cross better. And then we conceded, and then also on the second goal, I think also he switched off, because he was supposed to just remove that ball, because you never know what is happening behind you, so you just need to be to play safe. Because as a defender, what is important is safe. Is you need to be safe first, because I think he was supposed to do better there.
And the second one, when he hesitated to go, you are the last man in the line of defense. What are you supposed to do? I thought in terms of being switched on and all that, he was supposed to be right there, but he was not there.
Yeah, he switched off. That's why I said he was supposed just to remove that ball, because he was facing our goal. So he didn't know what was happening behind him. So he was just need to remove that ball for safety. Then
safety first.
Safety first as a defender. Because as a defender, you just need to be. I can just say that as a defender, safety first.
That's the name of the game.
And name of the game. You don't need to be the intelligent one.
Oh, you're watching the Totalenergies Afcon 2021 Fan Zone. Yeah, we are here just to discuss the game, and we're always here when the Warriors are playing. So our next match is on Tuesday against Guinea. But we have to really look at this game. So we were talking off camera with Steve, Joe. Every time that we've got problems, preparations, there's no money, we seem to play better. Though we haven't really gotten anything yet, the Africa Cup of Nations, because I spoke about the points that we have gotten. But in terms of application, we are always better. Did you see that in this game? Do you blame the smooth preparations? Do you blame the money that these guys are guaranteed? Because they were told that the money is there.
Yeah. I think, like what you're saying, that off the air we're discussing that. And I agree. I think we play better when we've got problems. We need to first have these talks behind the scenes, so that we can play better. But I think I just want to thank the government for what they did for this team. Everything was just smooth. We didn't even read anything that there were problems. The training was just smooth, and our expectations now were just very high. And I would like to believe that the boys let us down. They've let the nation down. But at the end of the day, it's football. I know that they didn't go into this match wanting to lose. It's a derby. We've got the bragging rights that we needed. And there are Malawian people that still live in Zimbabwe, and I know that tomorrow we are in for a ride, and these people will be just taking the mick out of us. But at the end of the day, it's disappointing that the application was just not what we are used to, as a country. From this match, there's nothing that we can talk about. There's nothing that we can take home and say, did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? Besides the goal, I feel that we didn't do much to win the game.
Totalenergies Afcon 2021 Fan Zone. Yeah, we see a lot of comments in the comment section here, and Austin Gwimbi saying we are out. Yeah, Steve explained this. We are out. There's no way. Even if we beat Guinea by 10 goals to nil,
Yep.
still head-to-head against Malawi will be used. So that means Malawi will be ahead of us, even if they also lose by 10 goals to 0 against Senegal in their last game. Cosmas Mutoa, Bruce for coach. I don't know where he's taking this. Should we change the coach? Skyways, Nube, shame. Yeah, we feel it. The boys had all the support needed, I guess. They did their best. Better play next time. AFCON in the next 2 years. Yeah, but I'm not sure about the bulk of the players there. Will they be there? And Austin Gwimbi says Mapeza was tactically outdone. Let's take it to the coaches, Dixon. Did the technical bench had to do something different for us to get a positive result? The substitutions they made, sticking with the players that played against Senegal, only one change was made, Kadewere for Dube. Today we didn't even see Dube. Is he injured?
Howard, I think we don't know why the coach stick to the same players which he used last match. Maybe he knew the players because he trains with them, so he knew that against Senegal he was supposed to be playing defensively. So maybe he knew that against Malawi, the same players they're going to do the job. Also, I personally think that he was supposed to put Zemura a little bit earlier, because Zemura gives us a little bit more going forward, and also Kudamahachi. So
maybe to add to what Dixon is saying. You know, as a coach, I'm a coach also, and I don't want to speak, negative about another coach. But their tactics, they are different depending with teams. You know, you play Senegal in a different way, and when you're playing Malawi, the tactics can never be the same. So you need to change a little bit. Like I said, that we're coming in as favorites, we needed to win. So I felt that we could have done something, different compared to the lineup that we sent. And also, as a coach, you need to understand your players. You know, I saw Zemra struggled a little bit when he came off the bench. So you have to understand your players. Is he good coming off the bench, or is good when he starts from the beginning? Because you could see he was trying to, to control the football, tries to run with it, and all the time he was leaving the footballs behind. So those kind of things, you need to understand them also as the technical team. Is my player good coming off the bench, or is good to start the match? So I think for me, maybe we should have changed from that defensive lineup into a more attacking team, because it's Malawi, we know them, we've beaten them 5 times, I think, out of 10 games. Now they seem to be closing the game.
I love the comradeship that's there between coaches, where you always say, no, you can't criticize the other coach. Yeah, I like that, because you never know. Next time you will be coaching and Mapeza will be assisting you. You're watching the Totalenergies Afcon 2021 fan zone here on Star FM. We've got here on ZTN. Why am I thinking of Star FM?
I think it's because I'm next to you.
We've got plenty of giveaways courtesy of our sponsors, Totalenergies. We've got DSTV subscriptions for 1 month. We've got soccer jerseys. We've got soccer balls as well. So yeah, stay tuned because today you might be one of the winners if you had predicted the score line. And if you say 2-1 to Malawi, maybe you might win something. Stay with us here on ZTN. Totalenergies Afcon 2021 fan zone, and we are discussing the game that was played this afternoon. Zimbabwe going down to Malawi by 2-1, and this effectively means Zimbabwe are out of the Afcon tournament, though we still have got a game against Guinea on Tuesday, and it's just purely academic.
Yeah, it is. Tell us what you think. We're all dejected here, as you would imagine. I'm sure that you are too, and all of the Warriors fans. But you can give us your questions. Tell us how you're feeling. Lee Bright and Gwen, you're saying, looking at the final game coming up against Guinea on Tuesday, Mapeza should just give everyone else who hasn't played in these two games a chance to play, and let's not worry about the result. Otherwise, why were they taken to Cameroon? I guess that's true. The preparations for whatever lies ahead begin on Tuesday now, Joel.
Yeah, I agree also with him. We have young players that the coach took to the Afcon. So on Tuesday, it's an opportunity for these young boys. We've got Anna Mtimbanyuka, and we've got this young man from Dynamos that he took with them to Afcon. So yeah. So I think it's an opportunity for them because we've got nothing, to lose. We've got nothing to play for. So it's time to build now for the future. Those boys are still young; they're 20, 21 years old. He should give them a run so that we see what they can do for the national team.
Yeah. Joel Lupatla and Dixon Choto with us here on this Fan Zone, brought to you by Totalenergies. They played at the 2004 Africa Cup of Nations, and now watching much later on at how the guys have performed today. And on a harsher note, Shame Shedza Kapusuka says we need younger players. These players are tired and should be retired. We need to start with under-23s from now on. Tino Kadewere was a big disappointment for me. He really didn't make much of an impact. Kundai Benyu, as a youngster, he seemed to do all right. But would you make drastic changes to the Warriors now, Dixon, knowing that it's the end of the road with the Totalenergies Africa Cup of Nations 2021? Would you make drastic changes?
Yeah, we need to make some changes because, as Joe rightly say, we've got also some youngsters coming up. So we need also to see them in our next match against Guinea, so that we know that who are the players we need for our Warriors. Because also the problem here in Zimbabwe is we don't have continuity. Because I think every game we've got new players. So in terms of understanding each other, it's a little bit tough for other boys. So we need also the continuity.
And your thoughts on Knowledge Masona, the captain? He was taken off in the second half. He wasn't well. He had flu in the last couple of days. But going forward now, what would you do with Knowledge?
On Knowledge, I think it's his personal decision if he wants to keep on playing or if he wants to retire. But I think he still has something to offer for the national team.
What do you think about that, Joel? Do we need a change of captain as well?
On the captain's issue, I don't think so. But looking at it now, like we seated here, we dejected, and I'm sure the captain is more hurt than us. And such matches in such situations, they make it difficult for one to continue. So for me, I would expect, to be reading in the newspapers that the captain is retired. Yeah, I think he has served us well. He's been one of the best players I've ever seen, after a long time, and I think he will retire with pride. There is nothing for him to be ashamed of. He's been a very, very good servant of the football in Zimbabwe. But like what Dick is saying, and what was saying, that do we need to make an overhaul? I think we've got 2 more years to prepare. But the problem is now that we are saying we need the under-23s. We don't have them because there is nothing. There is no under-23s, there is no under-20, there is no under-17. We are picking up people. When you say there's a tournament for the under-17s, we start making trials, to do trials. A country like Zimbabwe shouldn't be doing trials. We should be just going to Victoria Falls to get one player. There's a player who is in Mutare in under-17. We should know all these people. They must be on the database. But for us now, I've never seen a country that makes trials for under-17s national team. We make trials. It's like we are a club. We need to do better there. We need to do better in development and make sure we develop this team. Because I remember when I was the under-23 player, we had a very good team. If that team had been kept together and developed into the national team, we could have done wonders. But there was nothing. There was no continuity. We just, after the under-23's failure to qualify for the Olympic, there was nothing. I had to stay 4 years without being called for the national team. And the other players, they just, disappeared. So we need to correct that.
I think I'm gonna pin this on Dixon, because Dixon, I know you've got a team, an academy that grooms players. What are you guys doing? Because he raised a pertinent point here. Because everything has to start from the grassroots, then cascades up to the senior team. Yes, there might not be structures, within Zimbabwe Football Association, but you guys coming up with teams, I'm sure you've taken the mantle and you've taken it upon yourselves to do. But what then happens to the players?
Actually it's said, Howard, that these things were supposed to come from ZIFA, but actually we are not getting any support from ZIFA, because every footballer starts from the grassroots. If you don't do anything from grassroots, then it's like jumping. You don't jump stages. So I think also our motherboards are supposed to help and support all the grassroots academies, whether they are registered or not registered, or even there are some coaches whom they don't even have the clubs, but they spend most of the time with the kids. So they also need support in terms of equipment, soccer balls, etc. And then also, as you rightly say, that there's supposed to be a database in terms of those youngsters, because if you look at our under-17s, after the tournament, they disappear. The next tournament, there's a new under-17s. Those players, they are already finished. Instead of them going to under-20, but we don't even know where they are. So that's why we took also upon ourselves that we need to also to help those players grow in our academies, also so that we send them to PSL clubs. Some of them, they take our players, some of them, they don't. So.
All right, Totalenergies Afcon 2021 Fan Zone. And we were discussing the game that just ended in Zimbabwe, going down to Malawi by 2-1. And that means there's nothing for us at the Afcon tournament.
Yeah, and we're the first team to be eliminated as well of the 24 who are there in Cameroon. So we're making headlines for the wrong reason there. That's because a head-to-head is used when teams finish level on points, so we cannot go above Malawi, who've beaten us today by 2-1. Just wonder about the issue of experience, because this was our 5th Africa Cup of Nations. We'd expect to be moving forward. I know I think for Togo, it took them 6 tournaments before they won their first game. But you guys had a victory back in 2004 at your first ever Nations Cup appearance, and what a win, beating Algeria 2-1. But and then the next edition beating Ghana, although we didn't progress. But do you think that we've gone forward enough after that foundation that you guys laid for us?
I think we have regressed as a country. I think we have from 2004. We haven't gone a step forward or a step further. We're supposed to be, for now, we are not supposed to be even talking of qualifying to the 16. We're supposed to be talking of the quarterfinals. We're supposed to be saying, when are we going to go to the semifinals? Because 2004, we had a very good team. If we had laid foundation, We were supposed to have a better team 2006. We were supposed to have a better team 2017. We were supposed to have a better team 2019. And equally so now, we're supposed to have a better team because we've got these other young boys that sometimes that are born outside the country, but that they come to represent Zimbabwe. These are some of the players that we are expecting now to, to take this country into another level. We've got the boys we saw on Benyu, we saw on Muskwe. We are expecting a lot from them, and I think these players also, they need to be given enough time in the under-23s so that we can see what they can do, for the national team. They need to come and play for the under-23s so that at least everybody will have, a little bit of know-how how this player plays. We saw some of these players today. I had not seen Benyu, but I think he's a decent player. I had not seen Muskwe playing. I saw him today. So we need these players that are Zimbabwean born when they went to live outside, or that are born outside the country, coming back to help. And also local players. I believe that we've got very, very good local players that can represent this country. It doesn't have to be a player who plays outside the country. We've got local players out there. I'd love to see, God knows, Morira today playing. I know that boy can give us something, but unfortunately he didn't play, and I'm expecting maybe that you'll get a run versus Guinea. Those are some of the good players that are playing locally. We are unfortunate that we 2 years away from football because of COVID, but we have some decent players that are here local that can play. So we need to mix those players and move forward, because we haven't moved forward. From 2004 we took 3 points, 2006 then 1 point. It shows that we are not.
Now there's a possibility that we might not even get anything.
And now we might not even get anything, and it will be the worst, after having had so better preparations this time around. So it's proving to us that sometimes maybe it's not the preparations that has to be spot on. We need that chaos.
I think, Steve, now let's get to the most exciting part. Well, for me, when we rate the players, because we saw what they did. Yeah, we lost 2-1, but obviously he's talking about players like Kundai Benyu. We saw something from him today, and there are some players who were disappointing. So I'm going to put you on the spot now, Steve, so that you take us through your ratings for the players today.
Yeah, well, I can't put anybody above 6 because we've lost a crucial game that we should have won. So Kundai Benyu is probably my best. I'll give him a 6. Petros Mari, well, beaten twice. I guess I'll give him a 4. Takuzwa Chimwemwe, I don't think he won the battles down that right flank. I'll give him a 4. Teenage Hadebe, centre of defence. He's a great player, but he does make mistakes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You got to give him a 4 today. Gerald Takwara, I'll give him a 5. Onesmo Basera, it must be his last tournament. I'll give him a 5. Kelvin Madzongwe.
Is this for because it's his last tournament? Is this why you
It
give
was
him
just an
5?
extra. It was just adding a bit of colour. Ishmael Wadi, he got a great goal there. He could have got others. I'll give him 5.5, I reckon. Kundai Benyu, as I say, I'll give him a 6. Bruce Kangwa, some running, but a 5 for me. Tino Kadewere, shall I be harsh? It's a 3 or a 4 for Tino. I'll even say a 3 because he didn't make an impact there. Knowledge Musona, 4.5, I guess I'll say. And that's probably the best of the bunch there was Kundai Benyu, who maybe might be able to take us forward. Of the subs, 2 few minutes for Muskwe and Zemura and Kuda Mahachi to be rated, but Mahachi did have 1 or 2 nice touches. But all of the guys, I'll give them 5 or less, except for Kundai Benyu.
Do you have any player above 6, Joe?
Not today.
Not today. And your lowest?
3, like what Steve is saying.
And Dixon, any player above 6?
No.
Or maybe your highest is actually 4?
6 actually. I think also I agree with Steve that today, Kundai Benyu, I think today he played very well. He was a different player, like than against Senegal. Today he did well, so I will give him a 6. I think also he is the man of the match, the Zimbabwean side.
Oh, All right, what do you think? Tell us in the comment section. I see Marshal Gore saying the war is over. Warriors defeated. It's done. Yeah, it's done. The war is over. Even if we win against Guinea in the last game, well, it's not going to count for anything. I see good progress, though, in Zim football in the near future. We are not doing bad, though. Today was disappointing. This is D. Jange and Stanley Nyela saying very sad. So, Steve, you were talking about Tino Kadewere, and very disappointing in there because he's one player with the biggest profile in the team, playing for a team that plays in French League One, and you expect him to do well. Look, Cameroon, Carl Toko Ekambi, teammate for Tino at Lyon, and you scored 2 goals. Do we really look at that, or the quality probably that's supporting players like Carl Toko Ekambi and the quality that was supporting Tino Kadewere?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to compare the two, especially to compare the two players and also the two countries, because Cameroon Ekambi is surrounded by very good players, yeah, as we saw yesterday. But we're not taking anything away from Zim. I still think that our players, they need to play together for some time so that they can understand each other. You know, without the understanding, there's nothing that we can do. There's the issues where people just come for 1 week. They have to change. We need more time with these players, because it's difficult to understand how Tino makes his runs. If you don't play with him more often, it's going to be difficult. I remember my first time when I was called for the national team. It took me some time to understand how the great captain Peter Love played his football, because at one stage he will be here and then you pass the football there, then he's no longer there. You know, so he's that kind of a player that he could move. So you need to understand these players, how they play. I think our players need to understand how Tino plays. For today, it was disappointing, but I felt that he was still isolated, the same way Prince was isolated versus Senegal. And also our biggest problem that we had was we seem not to be able to retain football, to win possession from the opposition. We were just good when playing. When we didn't have possession, we didn't have that robust defensive midfielder who could win the football away from the opposition. So it was going to be difficult, because we spent a lot of energy chasing to win the football. Then when we've got it, we can't use that same energy, because we would have bent it, you know, trying to win the possession. So it became difficult for Tino, and it's sad. Now he's under pressure. His teammate at club level is scoring goals. He's not scoring goals, and you are thinking of the national team, and then you are thinking also of your future. So when we go back, this guy already has got the edge. So it becomes very, very difficult for him.
Totalenergies Afcon 2021, Fan Zone live right here on ZIMBABWE's television network, also live on the Totalenergies Facebook page. And I think, Dixon, the other thing, he's talking about, you know, the midfield and not having a robust defensive midfielder. But again, we spoke about the lack of goals in the Warriors side. And you go back to 2017, 2019, it's been Knowledge Musona and Kama Billiard's goals that have been carrying Zimbabwe. Even in the qualifiers, it's those two guys who've been scoring goals. And Kama Billiard now retired, and looks highly likely that Musona is also going to retire. So what's next for Zimbabwe? Do we have anybody that will take over in terms of goal scoring?
Unfortunately, I will welcome back also to what Joe said, that even Knowledge said he wants to retire today. Then who is coming in on Knowledge Msona? Because we don't have the under-23s, we don't have the under-20s. Because by now we should have been in a know who is coming in for Kama Billiard or for Knowledge Msona or whoever is not going to play for our national team. But right now we don't even know who is going to replace them. So we need also to do better there. Start also starting with under 23s and under 20s, so that we have the continuation. Those who plays well from under 20, they go to under 23s, then to national team. Like now, we don't even know who is going to replace Musona. And also what you said about those two guys scoring is the understanding now. Those players, they played together at SEs. So like Kama Billiard, he knows where Musona is running. And also Musona knows where Kama runs. So that's the understanding which Joe said.
Yeah, it's really difficult, Steve, and I see the comments keep coming. Lee Bright Ngwenya says, Joe looks really sad and disappointed. Maxwell T. Muronda says, we need to go back to the drawing board. I think a ban from FIFA can help us clean out the mess in our football. Do you really think so? I don't know. Herbert Spencer Mutubiki says, we had high hopes for the Warriors. Today they disappointed once again. And Visimusi Siziba says, Mapeza is clueless. This is really disappointing. Players can't even play basic football. I'm sure, Steve, we can go on and on and on, you know, talking about our disappointment and also the fans that are coming through with their comments there. But yeah, when are we back next?
Tuesday's the next game. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I think the SRC aspect is interesting as well, because this came in the light of the SRC suspending the FIFA board in November and risking that FIFA ban from international football, which didn't happen. And everybody's really hurt now, and I'm sure the SRC are too, the Sports and Recreation Commission, but they would also feel vindicated somewhat, because they said if we miss out on the Afcon, then so be it, because we need a year to rebuild our football. And we've heard that from Dixon, we've heard it from Joel, that things are not right. And well, I say they'll feel vindicated, because even if we had missed out, well, we actually missed out on being the first team to be eliminated, and they'll feel the pain. Marshall Gore watching from the UK, and we appreciate all that you're doing to identify players all around the world, in the UK and elsewhere. But what we've heard from Joel and Dixon is that here the grassroots side has been neglected. These are some of the things that the SRC feel need attention. So this is another aspect of what's happened to the guys in Cameroon. Yeah.
Thank you very much for all the comments that you've sent through. Andile Masibi says, I'm so disappointed. We are all disappointed. Rodney Leslie Kenamu, we need to play more friendly games for chemistry. Yeah, this was also highlighted by Joe. Itai David Chiwanga says the whole team is mediocre. They don't play as a unit. I'm not so sure about that, the mediocre part on the whole team. We have the under-23s and under-20s here, good enough to be integrated with local players. The system needs to change. This is Marshall. Maybe he was listening to you, so he's trying to give you an answer there. And Charo Chak says, so we don't have former who can be incorporated as football pundits. Anyway, I'm not so sure what he's saying, because Joe is here, Dixon is here, so I'm not really sure what he's trying to say. But thanks so much for the comments, guys, and thanks a lot to Joe and Dixon for coming through, and Steve as well. And we are back on Tuesday for the Totalenergies Afcon 2021 Fan Zone, and make sure you make a date with us, because Zimbabwe will be playing against Guinea. Yes, it's purely academic, and just need to see how the other players do. But this has been our Afcon.
It has, and same old story in many ways, but the road to whatever lies ahead starts on Tuesday, so do join us then as we continue to unpack issues with our Warriors and look at what the way forward will be, because there's going to be a lot of questions that will be asked now. So join us then on the Totalenergies Africa Cup of Nations 2021 Fan Forum here on ZTN.
Totalenergies presents the African Football Fans Jersey. Visit our service stations or our social networks to find out more.